way. Mr. Snerdley, get her number and have her act fast so that we don't lose the mo on this. And remember now, Nance, be as honest and as objective as you can be, even though you have been a little bit prejudiced. Edmond, Oklahoma, this is Larry. Hello, welcome to the EIB Network.
Hi, Rush, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Wanted to ask a question about this. I think probably one of the biggest prostitutions of journalism is tonight when NBC runs this show on To Your Health, funded by
Robert
Wood Johnson Foundation, which, of course, as you know, is the organization which was involved in the lawsuit again by the American physicians and surgeons versus Hillary Rodham Clinton about the secret healthcare meeting.
Yeah, let's detail that. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation has portrayed themselves, and their willing accomplices in the media have furthered the notion that they are nonpartisan, that they have no interest here other than the truth and honest town meeting type hearing and debate.
Which is bunk.
It is bunk because many of the members of the secret Hillary Clinton task force were either suggested by or from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So there is a bit of compromise here, I would say, on this so-called impartiality. Now, let me say something that I have not previously stated. About a month ago, my office got a call inviting me to appear on this show. I don't, like some people do, just go, wow, chance to be on national TV, yeah! I said, well, what is it you want me there for? And they said, well, we're doing a segment, and our tentative working title of the segment, I don't know if this is what it's going to be when the show airs tonight, but the tentative working title is Thunder on the Right.
Ooh.
I said, oh, so you're going to set up a segment here where the right wing is sort of a fad. They're not a legitimate player in this debate. They're somewhere on the outside, and that's where the anger is? Well, no, wait a minute. Oh, but it sure sounded like that to me. So I reject, and I refuse to let others define me. I refuse to appear on a program where the headline or the banner is going to be thunder or anger or bitterness on the right. So I opted out. I don't know who they went and got. I don't know who they asked.
I know.
To do this.
G. Gordon Liddy, and then they brought in Ronald Reagan Jr. To be a foil for him. Unfortunately,
you've got to be kidding me.
No. Robert Wood Johnson has targeted 12 states, Oklahoma being one of them, to adopt the Clinton-style health care plan in the states because they saw that it was stalling out nationally. I was involved in fighting that here, and it has been extremely interesting to see the way that the Johnson Foundation strings out grants of, say, $1.2 million if you'll only pass a study which will come up with a plan to fund this, which means a huge tax increase. And then we can bring it to a vote of the people. Well, you know, if you're just trying to bribe legislators with money and then raise taxes to the tune of $6 billion for a grant of $1.8 million, it doesn't seem to be a real good return on your investment.
So the Robert Wood Johnson Trust has now targeted 12 states,
yes, sir,
to get a version of this plan passed there.
Yes, sir.
In the event it fails federally.
And they've succeeded in some states as well. And it's all been associated with grants.
Right.
So you're essentially telling the legislators, if you only pass this, we'll give you more money to implement a program. And it's legislators, if they want anything, it's more money, and if they can get what's considered to be free money with no strings, that's great.
Yeah.
And they've done that here in Oklahoma. We stopped that bill here.
Good.
And they're attempting to do it in other states as well, and it's unfortunate because this is going to mean a...
who are you? Why are you in a position to... Are you just a citizen that's involved, or are you hired?
Yes, sir. I work with a group as well that's trying to protect taxpayers and stop the Clinton health care plan because we see it's too much government intervention and taking 1/7 of the economy over. I've heard that on your show.
Yes, and a severe loss of freedoms.
Can I say the organization's name?
Go ahead, but no phone numbers.
It's Citizens for a Sound Economy. There's about 6 chapters now. It's out of Washington. We've started in 6 different states.
Thanks for the call, sir. I appreciate it. Well, I suspect that this is not a... look, I guess it is a criticism of NBC, but let's just face it here. This Robert Wood Johnson organization, while they may protest, there's no question here that they have an interest, and they claim they don't. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
You know, my friends, I've read dozens of comments from satisfied owners of allergy-free electrostatic air filters. You've heard all the claims right here, from cleaner homes to fewer allergy symptoms. Well, a crack EIB staff has interviewed some allergy-free filter owners. Listen to this.
My wife had been sneezing and her sinuses had been draining whenever the AC was on. The first night we installed the allergy-free filter, she noticed a big improvement.
The allergy-free filter is so easy. We just take it out about every 30 days and we flush it out with a water hose. It's great. My husband doesn't mind doing it at all.
After only 24 hours, I can tell a difference. I don't think I will ever regret buying this filter.
My family is amazed at the difference in the air. Even my Sheltie sniffs the air and he notices a difference.
My wife snores less, too.
Okay, folks, what more do you need? Get your credit card ready along with your filter size and call 1-800-ALLERGY. You owe it to yourself and your family. And if you mention the EIB Network, you get 25% off the retail price. Call Allergy Free now, 1-800-ALLERGY.
Trust, one of the most important words in the English language. Who do you trust? Your wife? Your parents? Your kids? Sure you do. And that would be fine if you planned on never setting foot out of your house. But you're a tobacco farmer, so you're looking to trust the people you do business with and the insecticides you use on your crop. That's where Orthene 75S comes in. Orthene controls red aphids, green aphids, tobacco budworms, and hornworms. The key is to spray Orthene 75S early, before aphids can build up. And after about 72 hours, your problem should be solved. Orthene 75S protects your crop from all the major tobacco pests from plant bed to harvest. Truth is, proper season-long use of Orthene can result in an extra 300 pounds of tobacco per acre at harvest. And it's a non-restricted use product, Orthene 75S. Now that's something a tobacco farmer can trust.
Scott Motor Company in Goldsboro is having their gigantic factory invoice sale, and it's your chance to save on all remaining 1994 Cadillac Sedan DeVille, Concord, Seville, and Eldorados. They're all at factory invoice prices only till the end of the month at Scott Motor Company. Come and check out the largest selection ever with over 40 in stock. They're extended hours through the end of the month at Scott Motor Company in Cadillac, creating a higher standard, located on Highway 70 Bypass in Goldsboro, selling and servicing fine motor cars since 1922.
Working people need Walter Jones Jr. in Congress. Walter Jones Jr. is a conservative with a tradition of service to Eastern North Carolina. In the legislature, he fought for reform. In Congress, Walter Jones Jr. will vote for your family and against Bill Clinton's liberal tax and spend programs. Walter Jones Jr. is concerned about the next generation, not the next election. Walter Jones Jr., conservative and fighting for Eastern North Carolina.
Paid for by Walter Jones Jr. for Congress Committee, Wayne Holloman, Treasurer.
Back to the phones we go. Binghamton, New York. This is Rich. Hi, I'm glad you called, sir, and I appreciate your patience.
Rich, Brush, it's a pleasure to talk with you, and I've enjoyed the last 56 minutes waiting and learning more than I have in the last month listening to the national media.
Thank you so much.
Certainly, sir. My first point is the O.J. Simpson affair with the media attention, etc. I'm a very reactionary person, and I have to say vehemently that if he's guilty, as is presented, and only the forensic evidence can prove it, I realize that it could take a month, it could take years, as they say. But as it's been presented, my vehement feeling is that a justice for no man that has performed a heinous crime, if he's guilty of ski masking, gloving, and going in on a woman and a person, innocent people, and creating such a heinous crime as has been presented, which I have no... I want to disclaim that I don't know O.J., I don't know the details, I don't know the facts other than what's been presented by the media. But my reaction to this is that if he is guilty, the only justice, as Solomonian justice from the Bible, I'm a Christian, but from that...
Quickly, we got 15 seconds.
Okay. I would feel that he'd be better off in isolation with a picture of Nicole on the wall for life internment, as opposed to the death penalty.
Well,
guilty.
That's an interesting view. Richard Cohen, Washington Post, writes about the same subject today. Remind me, and we'll discuss it later on.
And now more from WGBR's Community Desk. Are you 60 years of age or older? Could you use some additional income? Do you have some idle time on your hands, like 4 hours a day maybe? Do you enjoy meeting new people? Would you like to help someone in need? If you have answered yes to these questions, then the Senior Companion Program may be just what you have been looking for, and they're looking for you too. Contact the Wages Senior Companion Program by calling 734-1178 and hear what everybody's talking about on 1150 WGBR.
Each year, America spends more than $1 billion to repair and replace vandalized highway signs, and more than $15 million to clean up litter in national parks. Hi, I'm Linda Evans, National Spokesperson for Take Pride in America, a grassroots effort to preserve and enhance our nation's resources. With every act that damages our resources, we Americans steal from ourselves and rob our children of our country's beauty. To find out how to help, call 1-800-US-PROUD.
WGBR, Goldsboro's very own.
From ABC News, I'm John Belmont.
We now know that a tobacco company commercially developed a tobacco plant with twice the nicotine.
The damaging word today from FDA Commissioner Dr. David Kessler, who tells Congress it wasn't until last week, when his agency already had evidence of a secret strain of tobacco, that Brown & Williamson admitted to breeding a genetically engineered leaf with twice the nicotine. Kessler says the strong stuff eventually found its way into 5 brands of cigarettes.
Raleigh Lights, Richland Lights, Viceroy Lights, and Richland King Size.
No comment so far from Brown & Williamson. The commissioner stopped short of saying the Food and Drug Administration is now ready to regulate tobacco as a drug. The new chairman and CEO of Philip Morris now say they will meet next month with a group of shareholders that wants to protect the corporation by breaking it up into separate tobacco and food companies. A short search today of a vacant lot near Chicago's O'Hare Airport. It's now over, but no word yet whether police have found any evidence in the O.J. Simpson murder case. The brutal killing of Nicole Simpson has now triggered reaction on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives. Colorado Congresswoman Pat Schroeder standing up a short while ago.
One thing that we learned this weekend is very sobering, that 9 times, the Los Angeles Police Department was called to the Simpson home about a family violence matter, and 9 times they did not arrest anyone.
Simpson's caddy now says O.J. blew a gasket on the golf course just hours before Simpson's ex-wife and a friend were killed. A new survey shows many employers are still unsympathetic to women who say they've been sexually harassed at work. The study by the Women Employed Institute of Chicago also shows sexual harassment is a problem that spans all kinds of jobs. You're listening to ABC News.
Some people want to buy a car but not really own it. It's called leasing. It sounds fairly complicated, but I do know how you can lease a car in a fairly simple way at a Saturn showroom. See, we've hired some really nice people, the same ones that sell Saturns in kind of a no pressure, no fuss way. And we asked them if they'd explain any of the fine print about leasing in a fairly simple manner. They said, sure. Now, wasn't that simple? For the Saturn retailer located nearest you, call 1-800-522-5000.
Dijonnaise, Hellman's Dijonnaise makes great holidays. Dijonnaise.
For July 4th, be sure to have plenty of Hellman's Dijonnaise Creamy Mustard Blend. In taste tests among adults, Dijonnaise beat the leading mustard 2-1. Now that's something to celebrate.
Nothing beats my Hellman's Dijonnaise.
For the holidays.
A lesbian mother has been given custody of her son by a Virginia appeals court. That reverses a lower court ruling that found the mother an unfit parent because of her live-in lover. Occidental Chemical this morning agreed to pay $98 million toward the cleanup of Love Canal to settle a lawsuit with New York State. President Clinton says the U.S. has been in contact with North Korea over the North's discussions with former President Carter. An administration official says the U.S. wants North Korea to verify that it will freeze its nuclear program. Wham! George Michael, the former lead singer of the group, has lost his court battle to get out of his long-term contract with Sony. Michael says this morning's London decision upholds what he calls professional slavery.
More reaction now from ABC's Linda Albin.
The pop star's fans were devastated by the verdict, but former DJ and music critic Jonathan King said Michael had become a prima donna who deserved to lose.
Stars always become prima donnas. They actually lose total touch with reality. They surround themselves by people who say, yes, do this, yes, do that, and never say, excuse me, George, that's very stupid.
A victory for George Michael might have had a domino effect, prompting other artists to push for contracts giving them more creative clout and money. Linda Albin, ABC News, London.
And yes, that is the same Jonathan King who sang Everyone's Gone to the Moon. The stock market is going south right now. The Dow Industrial's off more than 40 points, trading heavy. This is ABC News.
Want to learn a foreign language? Get out your suitcase, pack your SOCKS. In just 30 days, National Dynamics will have you speaking and understanding Spanish, French, German, Italian, or Japanese, guaranteed or your money back. Order a complete set today and choose either a free cassette player or free travel club membership, good for discounts on airfares, cruises, and hotels. National Dynamics is the best way to get from here to anywhere. Call 1-800-545-1985 for details. 1-800-545-1985.
For the ABC Information Network, I'm John Belmont.
Remember how the Fredericks sang just a few years ago?
I'd give anything in the world.
That was yesterday. Today, Fredericks Music of Goldsboro, Eastern Carolina's most complete music store, can help you sing a song of savings during the inventory reduction sale. With the 33rd year of business ending June 30th, they are featuring a chorus of special savings on band instruments, pianos, guitars, keyboards, drum sets, and most anything else in music. Brand names like Kawai, JBL, Yamaha, and others. The best of yesterday. Right here today at Fredericks Music, singing songs of savings during the inventory reduction sale through this month at Fredericks Music, Sunrise Shopping Center, 1700 block East Ash Street, Goldsboro.
Expressed by the host on this show are captivating America. The views expressed by the host on this show are broadcast worldwide. Many of those same views appear in print in over 7 million copies of 2 different books. And yet, somehow, there are still Americans and members of the media who haven't the foggiest idea what really goes on here. So you gotta tell them.
This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program.
That's right.
America Held Hostage. And now, from our studios in New York City, here is Rush Limbaugh.
518th day today, the raw deal for the poor and the middle class. Day 537 for the rich and the dead, with 944 days of the most confused presidency and foreign policy in the last 50 years left to go. 140 days till Election Day, 1994. 800-282-2882. You want to be on the program? Got an amazing story today out of the Science Times section of the New York Times. My friends, are you aware that feminists are now in league with scientists, I guess you'd say, discussing the infidelity habits of married, I am not making this up, of married female birds. They are discussing the impacts of evolution of female birds on feminism. I am not making this up. I'll have details for you as the program today unfolds. 2 things more about O.J. very quickly. I want to read you a quote today from a news anchor at WIVB TV in Buffalo, New York, Carol Jason. Now, this quote appears in USA Today, and given that it's in the press, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's accurate. You always must add that caveat, particularly if you're reading the Los Angeles Times. But this is USA Today. Eric Brady writes this story, quoting Carol Jason, news anchor WIVB-TV Buffalo, quote, I feel so, this is about the O.J. Simpson case, I feel so sorry for Buffalo. It's one more kick in the teeth for a city that doesn't have too much to cling to. People here loved O.J. Now, I'll tell you, you know, when I was with the Kansas City Royals, I was in the marketing department. And as is always the case with whatever one does for a living, one tries to find the most interesting aspects of one's job and focus on those. Well, okay, I was in marketing. One of the jobs I had was to convince more people than ever to come to the ballpark. One of the jobs I had was to sell tickets, to help come up with ways to do that. Then you learn all kinds of statistics. You learn, for example, that if you could get everybody who goes to a baseball game once just to go twice, that the effect on attendance would stun you. I mean, the number of people who only attend one game a year, get those people to go twice, and I forget the number, but it would almost double attendance. I don't know if that still holds. Those are figures in the late 70s and 1980. I also undertook that. Remember, I was in Kansas City when George Brett was riding the crest of the wave of his popularity. George Brett, pursuing his 400 season in 1980, is a season I'll never forget. And I tell him this all the time. I don't think he looks at that as his. I mean, if he ever recounts his most memorable moments, he doesn't put that in there. It's a big deal, but he'll talk about the Pine Tar game here at Yankee Stadium in New York, the World Series appearances, the championship chances, and the championship that they won in 1985, the playoffs against the Yankees in the 76, 77, 78 seasons. But that 400 season, I'll never forget. It was a game in August, a Sunday afternoon, and late in August is late in the season, and Brett doubled, and that put him over 400. Late in August. That's different than being at 400 in June, when all you've got is September left and a little bit of October. And he's standing out at second base, and he's got his arms raised in victory, and Royal Stadium is berserk. And I'm looking around at this. And even when I went home at night, George Brett had Kansas City captivated. During that season, I dare say to you that Kansas City's self-esteem in large part derived not only from the Kansas City Royals and their championship ways. Remember, they were always in the playoffs from 76 through 80. They missed 79, but they were always there. The town expected it. Team was full of stars. Brett was the biggest. And everywhere you went, it was Royals blue everywhere. And Brett was just as big as one can be in a city. And it was then that as a marketing guy, I began my uneducated and just curiosity-inspired study of what it is about an entire community that will cause people to feel better about themselves and where they live, and give them, they're proud to see, I live in Kansas City. Why? George Brett, Kansas City Royals. It's a fact. It happens. It's one thing, it doesn't happen in a city as big as New York, where you've got 18 sports teams. But in Kansas City, you had two. You had the, you still had three. You had the Kings basketball team. But they were, because of the power of the Royals, they were and also ran. The Chiefs were not doing well back in those days. The Royals and Worlds of Fun, the theme park out there, that was the city. Those were the draws. And when a community rallies around something like that, it's understandable that the self-esteem can be, and I dare say if something had happened to George Brett during that wave, that there would have been a lot of disappointment, deep disappointment among a lot of people who maybe weren't even baseball fans. Now we come to Buffalo, and I can understand if this had happened during OJ's record-setting season, but that was 1979. It's been years. It's been over 20 years. Well, 15. And for somebody to say that it's just another kick in the teeth, I mean, I hope Buffalo's not in this bad a shape. I mean, tell you what, this show rules the roost in Buffalo. They can't be in that bad a shape. Buffalo's got to be in a great mood just because of this show. To say that Buffalo is now suffered a kick in the teeth, that's just one more kick in the teeth for a city that doesn't have too much to cling to. Buffalo, come on, have you been to Buffalo, Snerdley? Have you, okay, you were born there, but have you been back? Have you escaped? Well, you are vicious. I'm telling you, Buffalo is not the place people think that it is. They don't even, the worst winters in America have not been in Buffalo lately. All that snow stuff. Point is, the people in Buffalo are just like anybody else. And the Buffalo Bills, yeah, but the championship team. They don't win the Super Bowl, but they win their division. I mean, the fans go at the sellout every time. I just refuse to believe that the city of Buffalo is walking around totally dejected here and feeling like they've been kicked in the teeth again. Buffalo people are taking this personally. I just don't believe it. Even understanding what I have been through myself in Kansas City. Now, about the death penalty as regards O.J. Now, you know that the death penalty is something the prosecution could ask for. They haven't decided to. You think they'll ask for it? No, they haven't decided whether they're going to ask for the death penalty. They may not do that for months. The question is, if they ask for it, will a jury do it? If the jury knows that you can get life without parole, will they go for the death penalty here? The conventional wisdom is that because of the popularity of O.J. Simpson, that there will no way will he be given the death penalty if he's found guilty. Richard Cohen, writing today in the Washington Post, takes the occasion of this sad, sordid tale to wax eloquent on the death penalty. And here's his analogy. It's kind of a reverse analogy from what I gave you yesterday. Remember, I said, as you're watching O.J. and Al Cowlings traverse the L.A. freeway system, with the throngs of thousands on the side of the road and on the bridges cheering them on, as you look at pictures of signs plastered to O.J.'s mansion gate that say, "Go, O.J., we hope you didn't do it. Keep fighting, O.J., run another one, O.J., keep going, we love you, O.J." Imagine if it were O.J. who was dead and the suspect was in that van driving the L.A. freeway system. Do you think there'd have been anybody on the side of the road cheering the guy? There wouldn't. Do you think people would have been accused, would have applauded the cops for their distance here and their design? I mean, if anybody had been there, they would have swarmed the highway and brought that vehicle to a screeching halt. It wouldn't have made anywhere near the 50-mile trek. Wouldn't have gotten away with it. Now, I mention this because how people feel about someone is clearly relevant. Richard Cohen says, apply this to the death penalty. It's easy, he says, to be for the death penalty when you don't know who it is being executed, and when you think that who's being executed is your average run-of-the-mill human debris. Somebody just part of the endless parade. But when it's somebody you know, about whom you can't believe any of this, and about whom you don't want to believe any of this, are you still, those of you who are for the death penalty, are you still for it, knowing about O.J.? And he asks this question, and he concludes that nobody will be for the death penalty in these circumstances because they feel like they know O.J. and he's a nice guy and they love him and they don't believe any of this, they can't believe any of it, never saw any signs of this kind of behavior in O.J., so not for it. So I'm asking you, you people who are for the death penalty, does the fact that it's somebody you know, admire, or have admired, have affection for, that may be facing the gas chamber in California, does it change your mind about it? Cohen says you realize that killing O.J. Simpson is not going to deter future murder, that executing O.J. Simpson is not going to accomplish anything. But again, the whole point is missed as far as I'm concerned. The death penalty opponents who want to keep talking about deterrence are missing the boat. They are ignoring a word called punishment. And is it fit or not? And if you do think that it's fit, if capital punishment is fit and proper, is it fit and proper somebody you know? Think you know. Obviously, none of us knew him. That's what you have to realize here. Obviously, none of us knew O.J. Simpson. I say this not because of the charges. I say this because of the drugs now. I say it because of the 9 phoned-in pleas for help from his deceased wife. None of us knew that side of O.J. Simpson. We'll take a break, my good buddies, and be back after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Hey, do you remember when you were a little kid, your mom used to say, don't leave the house without your orange juice? Or anytime you got a sniffle or a cough, hey, drink some orange juice. You remember that? I do, and once again, our moms were right. Mothers always are. Large glass of orange juice should be the first of 5 daily servings of fruits and vegetables. Now, there are loads of reasons to drink orange juice, especially orange juice from Florida. The first is that it tastes great, undeniable. Here's another reason. You can take control of your own health by practicing certain preventive measures. With orange juice, just as Mom said, you get a significant source of vitamin C, potassium, folic acid, all that good stuff, and it's a great source of fiber, too. I'm not telling you to increase your Florida orange juice consumption just because the government's FDA lists so many benefits. I'm asking you to because you should. I'm telling you to drink more Florida orange juice because your mom said so. Your mom is right. Love you, Mom.
Is your car hard to start? When you accelerate, does your car hesitate? Notice the loss in power? If you said yes, maybe it's dirty fuel injectors and time for STP Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner. One treatment helps unclog dirty injectors fast to restore power and performance for up to 2,500 miles. So use STP or just keep going the way you've been going. STP. Drive a better car.
Leith of Goldsboro beats the heat with their sizzling summertime of savings going on right now. Get dependable transportation with air conditioning for only $194 down and $194 a month. Choose from the Dodge Colt, Eagle Summit. How about a brand new 94 Isuzu pickup with air, rear step bumper, cassette, and sliding rear window for only $194 down and $194 a month. It's the sizzling summertime of savings sale at Leith, Carson, Plymouth, Jeep, Eagle, Leith, Dodge, Isuzu, Highway 70 West, Goldsboro. Leith has so many outlets they can maximize the value of your trade, allowing you more than any other dealer. Tax tags and $158 doc fee or extra payment based on 60 months at 8.5% APR.
Hi, my name is Kayleen. I'm 5 years old. Last summer, my mom gave me Hooked on Phonics, and I learned to read. It was fun. When I started kindergarten, I was the best reader in my class. This summer, you should try Hooked on Phonics. Maybe you can learn to read like me.
Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
I'm here with Robbie Powers, otherwise known as Synonym Guy.
Hey, hello, what's up?
And we're here to tell you about a great deal.
A bargain, a real buy, or run for one's money.
You see, 8 and 16-ounce bags of Skittles bite-sized candies and Starburst fruit chews now have 25% more for the same price, which means they're bigger.
Enlarged.
For free.
You're not charged.
Just look in the candy aisle for the bonus bag.
The benefit bundle, the package of perks.
There's never been a better time to buy Starburst and Skittles than right now.
Pronto, on the double, ASAP.
Okay, Robbie.
Rob, Robert, Bob,
You
Bobby.
can stop now.
Cease, desist, and knock it off.
We all have our share of life's little problems. It could be a problem with a friend or a family member, or maybe even one related to your career. I'm Lee Maribal, and each weekday from 10 till noon, I take calls from listeners that have questions or problems probably similar to those you've had. I try to give advice to help you solve those problems, or at least help you take the first step. I hope you'll join me each weekday morning on Goldsboro's very own 1150 WGBR.
We are back at 1-800-282-2882, Rush Limbaugh and the Excellence in Broadcasting Network, America's vital national interest. We go to Seattle. It's Judy. Hi, Judy. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Rush.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to talk to you at long last.
Glad you made it through.
I am calling. There was an article in our paper this morning. I actually don't live in Seattle, but I get the Seattle paper.
Mm-hmm.
White House to ask for help paying Clinton's legal bills.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
This is such a joke. I cannot believe that somebody, and it quotes them as having a combined salary of $292,000 last year, needs our help in paying their bills. I'm in education, Rush, and you know that I don't make a lot of money. I wonder if they would help me pay my property taxes.
Well, you know, you've got to be prepared for what's coming next. After this, with the inability of the Clintons at $292,000 to pay legal bills, can legal care reform be far behind? With the notion that this is just not right, it's not fair, people are going to need insurance against such claims. And I joke, but they obviously this is the same basis under which they're proceeding their health care. We have prepared, ladies and gentlemen, in anticipation of this day, we have prepared a typical commercial that the Clintons might run as they attempt to raise funds for their health care legal fund, for their legal defense fund. Remember, I first speculated that when Barbara Streisand had that garden party garage sale and sold $6 million worth of stuff, that's what it was for. That it was the first contribution to the Clinton Legal Defense Fund. Apparently not. Apparently Clinton has decided not to tap his friends, but rather you. And here is what, seriously, it's going to tap you. I have the details of the plan. We'll get to it in just a moment, but first, a typical commercial you soon may be hearing.
And send even more than you can afford to save our bill. Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. That's SOB, Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.
Why not ask their friends? No, they're asking us.
Imagine having a virtual photographic memory and being able to meet over 100 people and remember all their names, or have instant recall of virtually everything you see, hear, read, or even think about. This is Kevin Trudeau, founder of the American Memory Institute. As seen on TV, over 2 million people have already benefited from the easy-to-learn Mega Memory Home Study course and released their own instant recall photographic memories. Now, it's your turn. Call 1-800-862-MEGA. That's 1-800-862-MEGA.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
This is Wayne Alley. A car-tractor-trailer collision on Highway 55 about 5 miles west of Mount Olive last night claimed the life of Goldsboro fireman Leroy Burt Jr., a 40-year-old Goldsboro resident. The investigating trooper said Burt ran the stop sign at Road 1006 and collided with a tractor-trailer operated by a Fort Mott, South Carolina man. The trooper said the car collided with the back wheel of the tractor, went under the trailer, and the trailer then ran over the car. There were 2 passengers in the car, and the trooper indicated it was a miracle that one escaped injury and the other only required hospital treatment and was released. The occupants told the trooper they yelled for Burt to stop, but he was adjusting the radio. The trooper said there were no skid marks. Goldsboro City Council members J.B. Rhodes and Fred Lutz indicated in public hearing last night they may want to consider an adult club in the 100 block of East Mulberry Street for those 18 years old and older, but not those 16 and older. Club applicant Doug Langston was asked for a clarification and said he was seeking an adult club for 16 and older. Councilman Phil Baddour Sr. responded.
That's the clarification I wanted, because I didn't want us to have a problem sometime later, or no, you have a problem sometime later if we said 18 and above and you thought 16 and above. Yes. I think we need to clarify it. I think that's what the city needs to vote on. Which is it, 16 or 18? And so if you're requesting 16, then of course, that's what we need to vote on.
Councilman Phil Baddour Sr. Attorney Trey Taylor told the Goldsboro City Council last night in asking for a change of zone for a nearly 11-acre tract on the U.S. Highway 70 service road between Berkeley Boulevard and Royal Avenue that it will be the site of a large retail wholesale business that will add to the local economy in many ways if approved.
A large retail wholesale business establishment is planned for this property. Unfortunately, because of the sensitive state of negotiations with the possible tenant, we cannot disclose the name at this time, but we can say that it will be a positive addition to Goldsboro. It will be a positive addition to our ad valorem tax base. It will add to the sales tax which we collect, and will also create jobs for our cities.
Attorney Trey Taylor. The Mount Olive Town Board made one adjustment last night before approving a 1994-95 budget that gives town employees a 3% pay raise and retains the town's 74-cent tax levy. The weather forecast is next. For WGBR, I'm Wayne Alley.
It's going to be a very hot, steamy afternoon with temperatures climbing into the mid-90s across much of the area. We do expect some thunderstorms to develop, and they could be quite strong, accompanied by some gusty winds and hail. Highs again in the mid-90s. Chance of an evening thunderstorm, otherwise partly cloudy tonight with lows near 70. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and not as hot. There is a slight chance of a late-day thunderstorm tomorrow. Highs 89 to 93. I'm Brian Orzel in the Weather Center.
From New York City via Satcom C5 in geosynchronous orbit 22,300 miles above mean sea level. Transponder 23 vertically polarized using CDAT, the spectrum-efficient digital audio transmission algorithm, channel 54. This is the Rush Limbaugh Program.
Rush Limbaugh, the doctor of democracy, here to remind you that evidence refutes liberalism every time. I prove it every day. Right here on the EIB Network, 800-282-2882. Have you heard about Michael Fay? Michael Fay, the American teenager who was caned for spray painting automobiles in Singapore, walked out of prison Tuesday, saying he was eager to go home. He looked pale and a little thinner after 83 days behind bars, but told reporters his health is good. His mom says Michael won't say anything till he leaves Singapore. Jail sentence reduced by 1/3 for good behavior. Now, it sounds to me like what we have here is a well-behaved, quiet, even-tempered, law-abiding, seen but not heard kid all of a sudden. I wonder why. You opponents of punishment, I wonder why the kid's all of a sudden acting civilized again. Richfield, Connecticut. This is Kathy. By the way, have we heard back from a person in Hershey, Pennsylvania? What's the bad news? They don't get Time and Newsweek till Thursday? Really, in Hershey, Pennsylvania? I mean, on the newsstands? No. Come on. Yeah, we could FedEx her one. We'll have to FedEx them out today, though, because I don't want to let this linger. Because somebody, you know, she called here, and you get very... Because here's what we're talking. Kathy, hang on out.